In writing to his spiritual son Timothy, the Apostle Paul has these strong words which we can take to ourselves. If anyone teaches otherwise and does not agree with the sound words of our Lord Jesus Christ and the teaching which accords with godliness, he is puffed up with conceit. He knows nothing. He has a morbid craving for controversy and for disputes about words, which produce envy, dissension, slander, base suspicions, and wrangling, among men who are depraved in mind and bereft of the truth. And on it goes. We can translate, in my next conversation, am I keen on being right, or am I poor in spirit, as the psalm this day has it? For the poor in spirit does not give off the sum of his knowledge, blocking out all new knowledge. Alas, much peace is lost in the name of defending God and his rights. If only we knew that God is as calm as the centuries he made, and is not troubled by one more grain of truth, for he contains all in himself. How many a holy conversation has a smattering of this wrangling of which St. Paul speaks. One time in the Carthusian monastery in the years of formation, our holy prior gave us teaching about how not to behave in conversation. He went into some detail analyzing it, actually in print, because he wrote out volumes for our formation. And this teaching which he had we can take with us, for he analyzed the typically dysfunctional conversation and therefore recreation. For in the Carthusian order there was the obligation of the weekly walk, and therefore it did matter. One couldn't be wholly in cell and then be dysfunctional in what was for the sustenance of the balance of the life of the cell, that is, conversation. And so he showed us that actually, if one looks at many a conversation, what is going on is this. After a certain point, a person is becoming heated. His energy is rising, but it is not always a peaceful energy. What is going on is this. He is becoming more and more keen on not losing, and therefore, in the measure in which he may be starting to half glimpse that he hasn't got it all right, because it is his right to be right, he will start to use force. Now what's going on here is this. It's not any longer in true, sincere defense of the truth, but in defense of one's own opinion, because one has a right to be right. That is the issue. And many a conversation is on that level. A true conversation happens only between 4 ears, between 2 listeners. In fact, a true conversation at times happens between 4 eyes and 2 regards towards another presence. The truth of the person, The person before me has his truth, of which I am not afraid. To conclude, even with a person who hasn't got the truth, one can at times find that bit of truth which he has, so as at least to meet his soul. What has been gained from true collisions of soul and a bad feeling left in the air?